Hi guys, how we doing? I trust we're good. I am super excited to speak to us today, and I'm sure you guys are super excited to have me today. Remember, we are looking at the elements of excellence. We are looking at the qualities Daniel possessed that made him excellent. Previously, we've seen exceptional spirits, we've seen knowledge and insight. Today, we'll be looking at interpretation of dreams. Before I continue, remember you can scroll down and watch the previous vlogs on this series. Today, we are looking at interpretation of dreams. Now, listen, I know when I talk about dreams, when I say dreams, people tend to go to the dreams we have when we sleep. No, that is not dream, okay? That's not the dream I'm referring to right now. Though it might be part of it, but my major focus is on the dreams we have for our future. Okay, the dreams we have for our businesses, the dreams we have for our career, for our ministry, our academics, and its likes. Okay, now when we talk about interpretation, I wrote something down here. Interpretation is an action of explaining the meaning of something. Okay, so when you're interpreting something, you're definitely explaining the meaning of that thing. So when we talk about interpretation of dreams, now remember I said dreams in this context is about our visions, the things we have for our businesses, our careers, our ministry, our academics, and its likes. Okay, so when you are interpreting your dreams, when it comes to your business, okay, how do you really understand, how do you break down these visions, these dreams? Okay, how do you speak to yourself about the visions? Remember, when you have a vision for a particular business, for a particular thing you want to do, it doesn't really come clear. Okay, it tends to be vague. All right, it tends to be vague. Let me use the word vague. You don't really understand it at first. Okay, but when you're able to interpret it, when you're able to interpret that vision, that dream, it then starts to become clear. Why? Because you've been able to interpret it. Okay, I wrote something down here. I said, how do you explain your dreams? How do you break them down into achievable elements so they can come out excellent? So how do you interpret that dream to start up the biggest tech company? How do you interpret it? How do you understand it? How do you explain it to yourself? Now, as career people, we work in organizations. We work for multinationals, we work for nationals, and its likes. How do you interpret your organization vision? How do you sit down and break down these visions into achievable elements? I also wrote something down here. I wrote something down rather. I said, when you visualize and interpret dreams and visions of your organization or business, you will be able to find brilliant ways to execute it. Okay, when you understand your organization vision, when you're able to interpret it to yourself, when you're able to sit down and say, okay, this is what my organization wants to achieve, then it will be easy for you to be able to run excellently with it. So understand your organization vision, interpret it. Okay, how do you explain your dream? How do you visualize your organization's dream? I wrote something down here again. I said, the people that excel are the people who understand and interpret their organization visions and run with it excellently. So it's the people that understands and are able to interpret their organization vision that will be able to run with it excellently. So if you don't even understand your organization vision, if you don't even understand the vision of your business, if you can't interpret it to yourself, how would you be able to run with it? How will you be able to run with it excellently? Now, as leaders, of course, leaders in organizations, leaders in various businesses and all, how do you interpret the vision to your subordinates? Let's say you work in an organization and you just left an organization or a management meeting, and then they give you this vision and these goals to achieve. How do you interpret it to your subordinates who were not in the meeting so that they can understand it and also run with it with you? Because if you're the only one who understands it, helping them run with that vision would be hard because they don't understand it. So how do you interpret that vision to them? As a business person, of course, you have the idea, but remember, you can't execute your ideas alone. You need people. You need people to help you thrive. All right? You need the marketers, you need the accountants, you need the business developers, you need a lot of people, the IT guys. So how do you interpret that vision you have for your startup to these people that would help you achieve it? So you see that interpretation of dreams, of vision, plays a vital role in achieving excellence. So sit back, think of how you can interpret these visions. How can I break them down? How can I enable my subordinates achieve this big vision that I have, that the company, the organization I work in have, so that we can all be excellent? Okay? I'll round off here, but remember, as I always say, these things are briefs, okay? You are to develop them, think of ways. I like people thinking of ways to achieve things. I don't like when people just sit down and expect one person to tell them exactly what to do. No. We are thinking beings. So think of these things, think of ideas, think of how you can interpret your vision, the organization's vision, your dreams and all. Think of ways to achieve it. Even in your academics, let me talk about academics a bit. How, yes, we know we want to come out top of the class. We want the PhD, we want the BSc, the masters. How are you interpreting that huge vision? How do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself? How can you break it down so that you know that, okay, by this time I should be here, by this time I should be there, because you've been able to interpret that dream? Okay? I'll round off here, all right? But then I have to say this. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook, or rather send me a friend request on Facebook, and follow me on Instagram. Okay, remember, it's the Holy Spirit that can help us interpret our dreams. Remember, He will teach us all things, but we also need to play our own part. All right. Okay. That's all for today's episode on the Elements of Excellence series. I'll be here next week to speak on another element. Until I come your way next week, please remember to dominate and influence your world. Safe.